Hi there, world. I have a message that is fresh and new and original, and it comes from at least a decade of research, more, of, and the answer that I came up with for all mental health is that all mental health issues are the result of demonic interference. And I'll say that again. All mental health issues are the result of demonic interference. Just one more time. All of them, all mental health issues are the result of demonic interference. I know this through 15,000 hours of astral travel, at least. Over years and years and years of work, there's been a thing of passion and study, constant study and constant exploration of mine to finally reach this point. There are 5 ways that demons enter the human system. Most of the spiritual milieu will only talk about type 1. Type 1 is the symptom list for type 1. This is usually not serious mental health issues. This is usually anxiety, actually. And the symptom list goes a little bit like this: thinking too much, anxiety, having sleeping issues or insomnia or some sort of disturbed sleep, sometimes sleep paralysis. 4 is at some point in your life you've probably been suicidal, and 5 is you're nasty to yourself in your own head. If you tick all 5 of those boxes, then you most likely have type 1 demons. Type 1 demons are the ones that the spiritual milieu talks about, negative entities, attached spirits, parasite spirits. Eckhart Tolle became famous describing them, although he never used the D word. He called them pain bodies. And if you read his 3rd book, buried about halfway through, at the end of the chapter, he goes like, he describes them and he goes, so if you thought that a pain body was a parasite spirit, you're correct. That's exactly what they are. And it's an epidemic. Is it even okay to use those demic words? It's a serious problem on Earth. And Eckhart Tolle became very, very famous and rich because he is the only person in the world to address the issue. Type 2 demons are the ones that cause very serious mental health issues. They vary in strength and they vary in severity, and I'm yet to meet somebody who doesn't have one. I'm looking forward to that, but unless when they get checked, everybody's got one of these, and they're responsible for bad personality traits, something like depression or sadness or jealousy or holding grudges or revenge or drudgery or anything at all, and just bad personality traits. But what's happened is somebody's entered the mental system of the person and is stimulating these thoughts to feed on them. The stronger ones of them result in, firstly, drug and alcohol addiction. Secondly, voices in the head. These guys have direct access and can talk directly into people's minds. Now, the current psychological model called these auditory hallucinations. And when you push the point, they can't explain how it happens. They said there's just something funny in the middle ear, and but it doesn't explain what's going on. However, for somebody with multiple personalities or schizophrenia, it's very, very clear what's going on. There is another personality there. There is another being there, and they're not nice guys. Never are they nice guys. Good guys, nice guys don't do this sort of stuff. They don't hijack people like this. And so if somebody is infected like this with a very, very serious or strong one, then they'll probably end up in the psych ward, or the psych ward has no method for addressing these issues. They have absolutely nothing to offer, in my opinion. If you have been diagnosed with something serious, then by all means get in touch with me, because I have solutions. And if you subscribe to this channel. There are videos of this coming, like of people I'm working with, and you'll get to see the process in action. Type 3 is, I call them karmic pirates. And what they're doing is, they've got a trick that they do during the incarnation process where they bring a lot of negative karma that's not yours. And there's some part of it where the soul's a little bit disoriented, some part of the incarnation process where the soul's a little bit disoriented, and they just insert themselves in there and say, this is your karma too. And they don't belong there, and it's a problem. And so if you are very unlucky or you're very good at self-sabotage, chances are you have type 3. Type 4 is dimensional traps, where demons trap you in a concept loop that you can't get out of. This is called psychosis. That's exactly what this is. They hold you in an idea, or they create a dimension around you that is filled with this idea, and you literally can't see out of the dimension without looking through the lens of this idea. This is psychosis. It's also a byproduct of type 2, but not strictly. They're not 100% correlated, those two. And psychosis can be switched off by the destruction of these dimensional traps or idea traps that poor people get stuck in. And type 5 are Horcruxes. This one, in order for very, very large demons to survive, they have an insurance policy. That insurance policy is to embed like a backup drive or a backup hard drive of themselves, or a thumb drive might be a good word, where they insert a version of themselves into a human for storage. Now, but it also does impact that person's personality, and it also reduces their energy, because it not only does it absorb energy, it also feeds to maintain itself. It also feeds some back to central. It's a tricky one, but with all of these things, we have solutions. We have very clear, very direct solutions, and can turn it all around. For those of you who have addiction issues, you're talking to somebody who used to be in Alcoholics Anonymous management. Or that's not how Alcoholics Anonymous, the anonymous groups, talk about it, but I used to be a central service office secretary, if you understand what that means. And the reason I got into this pursuit was to find the solution as to why I was different from everybody else, and I found it. And I've had cases where, I have one particular case that I keep quoting, where a woman has been drinking for 40 years, and the doctor said, you can't stop drinking immediately, so you have to drink a little bit, or your body will have a shock, without that material coming in. And so after 2 days clearing all of her issues, all of these bad guys, she had to go and drink half a bottle of her favorite wine at the end of the day. And she drank it, and then I'll never forget what she said or how she said it. But she goes, I don't like the taste of it anymore. And I also don't like how it makes me feel. And this is impossible as far as any other treatment goes. Nobody else has these keys. Most of the spiritual community only talk about type 1, and they only talk about it in hushed voices, as though it's a secret. And if you talk too loud about bad guys, they'll all show up and attack you. And it's just nonsense. They don't get it. They haven't done the research I have done, and they haven't spent the time and invested in this work. They haven't done the exploration, and they don't get it. But by all means, if you want to talk to me about this work, there is a link in the description where you'll send me your details, and I will telephone you so we can discuss this issue. So if you've watched this video all the way to the end, I'm glad that I've held your attention for this long. Obviously, this has some relevance to you or someone you know. please do not be afraid to send this video to your friends and or relatives. There are lots of people who really need to know this. As far as I know, I am the first one to break the silence on this topic. So if you've been watching this video all to the way to the end, I'm glad that I've held your attention for that long. But obviously it's relevant to you or someone you know or someone you care about. Quite often there is a family member in your direct or extended family who can't get their life together. And what I suggest to you is that you get in touch with me and bring this person along and see if we can resolve that issue, because I'm pretty sure that most of those serious mental health issues or addiction issues or even fail to launch issues are caused by one or more of these beings directing this person to be useless and helpless. Yeah, anyway, look, get in touch. I have solutions to problems that nobody else seems to understand. All right. Love you very, very much. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.